Wearing full-length fur coats for the most part has gone out of style, and many people in today's society are opposed to wearing them because they pity the animals who are killed in the process. However, it is not uncommon to find people wearing small trims of fur, as people believe it's fashionable and more humane than wearing a full-length fur coat. However, people do not realize the cruelty behind the decoration, so I am here to present that there is brutality in wearing small trims of fur. I will also explain how Canada Goose, a popular outerwear company, inhumanely kills animals for fur, the myths they use to generate more money, and what you can do to help. My fascination of the Canada Goose Company began one January afternoon on Bay State Road in Boston, where I was conversing with a good friend, Jennifer Clifford, who happens to be an environmental economics professor at Umass, Boston, and Harvard University. I was telling her how so many people at Boston University own Canada Goose Jackets. The reason I was saying this was because I was just so shocked people are willing to pay over $800 for a winter coat. And just as I was saying this, a girl wearing a Canada Goose jacket walked by, and Jennifer noted in a disgusted tone that she thought that the fur on the hood was in fact real fur. Not only is Jennifer an environmental economics professor, but she is also an advocate against humans killing animals for the purpose of fur, of wearing the fur and selling the fur. And she also protests at several fur shops. So therefore, I wanted to learn more about the company and find out if in fact it was real fur that they were using for their hoods. So later that day, I did some research on the parkas and discovered that they were originally made for park rangers to endure extreme temperatures. I also read that Canada Goose uses coyote fur on the hoods, and they explain this as a way to keep the face warm because coyote fur does not freeze. Then as I did more research, I discovered a very dark side of the Canada Goose Company, and ever since that day, I have been outraged by the lack of compassion Canada Goose attains. They use steel leg hold traps to catch the coyotes. And unlike shooting an animal, which is much quicker, the coyote will walk through a bush and a clamp will sharply detain their paws, ensuring the coyote will not run away. This method is called trapping. Often, the coyotes will be trapped and stranded for days, and some of them will chew off their paws to get to their young. Others will die of starvation before the trappers are able to get to them. Sometimes, animals including dogs and deer get trapped in the clamps, and these poor animals die in a ruthless manner in which Canada Goose supports and conducts. Although all animals, including coyotes, play a role in the ecosystem, Canada Goose claims that trapping benefits the environment, and in their fur policy, they state, in many regions of Canada, coyotes are considered a pest as they attack livestock, endangered prey species, pets, and sometimes even people. Here they are attempting to justify their reasoning for trapping coyotes, when in reality, there are several other options people can do to protect their pets. They can build fences or put up gates for safety. Also, by trapping coyotes, Canada Goose is not controlling the coyote population. In fact, they are doing quite the opposite. By killing a member of a pack, the trappers ruin the pack's hierarchy, and the coyotes tend to disperse. This results in more coyotes being born, proving that trapping is an extremely ineffective management tool. Canada Goose also states, wildlife population must often be regulated to maintain a balance with available habitat, to protect endangered species, and to prevent the spread of disease. Here they are trying to say that they are benefiting society by controlling the spread of disease. However, several credible sources such as Centers for Disease Control, the National Academy of Sciences, and the World Health Organization would strongly disagree. There's absolutely no evidence to support the claim that trapping controls the spread of disease. Rather, trapping spreads disease more rapidly. By killing mature animals who are immune to the diseases, such as rabies, trappers actually make room for animals who are not immune to the disease. Also, when animals have rabies, they tend to not eat during the later stages of the disease. So, trappers are not attracting the sick animals, they're attracting the healthy animals to the baited traps. These claims that Canada Goose are making are considered lame and self-serving by Dr. Marc Bekoff, who is a co-founder of the Ethologists for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Although Canada Goose is focused on keeping people warm, they don't actually care about the environment, and if they did, they wouldn't be inhumanely killing animals for fur. Trapping is a brutal, unnecessary way to kill animals, and wearing fur presents our apathy towards the well-being and protection of animals. If you would like to help protect the environment and end trapping, there are several things you can do. First, you can spread the word on why trapping is inhumane. Also, if you know anyone who owns large pieces of land, encourage them to post signs which prohibit setting up traps. Lastly, please refuse to buy or sell fur, especially if it's for the purpose of aesthetics. There is no reason why Canada Goose jackets are necessary for the average person who is not spending hours and hours and hours in freezing temperatures. Sorry. Yes, they may be warm, but there are countless other alternative jackets that you can buy. I own a long Betsy Johnson coat with synthetic fur, with synthetic down and faux fur. I've also walked to class in several degree temperatures, and it is completely doable. I pair it with layered clothing, a hat, gloves, and a warm scarf, and I'm good to go. Overall, please keep in mind that fur hoods may look good and fashionable to some, but it can be just as inhumane as wearing a full-length fur coat. By buying fur, we are essentially telling everyone, including the companies who manufacture fur, that we support animal abuse. As righteous humans, we need to stand up against Canada Goose and tell them that we don't want to support their vicious brutality. If we advocate for the animals and refuse to buy their fur, supply and demand will decrease, less animals will suffer, and the world will be a kinder place.